Okay, before I get into today's video, I do want to talk about a new benefit I have on the Patreon page. Now, team leaders and team managers will receive extra build videos and Google Sheets bi-monthly. So if you like my build videos and want more of them, check out the Patreon page, link in the description. Now, here's 5 tricks all superior champions know in Pathfinder 2e. Number 1. Reactions. There's no class in Pathfinder 2e that should use reactions more than a champion, especially if you're a good aligned one. Good aligned champions have great protection effects via their champion's reaction. Retributive Strike, Glimpse of Redemption, and even Liberating Step reduce incoming damage on allies. They also have other effects. Retributive Strike lets you hit the target that dealt the damage as part of the reaction. Liberating Step allows your allies to break free of anything halting their movement and take a step. And using Glimpse of Redemption means the enemy either does no damage or they do less damage and become enfeebled. The evil champion reactions aren't as good, with one exception: the Tyrant. If an enemy hits you, you can use Iron Command. So the enemy chooses whether to kneel before you and fall prone, or take mental damage. These are all great reactions that you want to use every chance you get. Number 2. Shields. So dealing damage is fun in Pathfinder 2e. So you would think that you would want to pick up that Great Axe and do as much damage as possible as a champion. While that may be true of Tyrants and Anti-Paladins, good aligned champions and Desecrators want to put down that big rusty axe and pick up a shield. Champions get shield block as well at level 1. So when enemies go after you, you can block the damage with your shield. The Desecrator champion reaction requires a shield, so you'll definitely want to pick that up if you're one of those. Quick Shield Block and Divine Wall are great feats that only champions with shields can make use of. But if you really want to take advantage of that shield, then be a good aligned champion and pick up the Shield Divine ally at level 3. Shield Warden, Shield of Reckoning, and Shield of Grace will all help you protect your allies more than simply just your champion's reaction. And if you need extra reactions, take Quick Shield Block or Divine Reflexes. Or both. Number 3. Focus Spells. So when most people think of champions, they think big armored guy that wants to protect allies. But champions also have great support focus spells. Lay on Hands is the most iconic one, which you get at level 1. This allows you to heal 6 damage per spell level. However, there are plenty of others that can be very effective. Litany Against Wrath, Litany Against Sloth, and Litany of Righteousness are all great options for good champions. Evil champions have Litany of Self-Interest and Litany of Depravity. There's even Hero's Defiance, which is great for all champions. These are all great options that can do more for your party than simply protect them. Number 4. Strength versus Charisma. So champions need high constitution because they're up in front taking hits most of the time. That leaves us with Strength versus Charisma. Champions need Strength so they hit more often and deal more damage, as well as being able to wear heavy armor. However, Charisma is not as important for champions as you might think. There are very good champion focus spells that don't interact with your Charisma at all. Lay on Hands, Litany of Depravity, and Hero's Defiance are all examples. But if you want to be the face of the party using Deception, Diplomacy, and Intimidation, then you'll want to up your Charisma. You'll also want your Charisma to be high if you want to use divine magic items, like scrolls and wands. Because champions can use those because they're trained in divine spell attack rolls and DCs. But if neither of these interest you, then you're going to want to focus on your strengths. Now you're a lot like a fighter, but you're not going to hit as hard. Number 5. Battlefield Master. So champions can take huge advantage of battle maps, because it really matters where that armored butt of yours is planted. This is not only because of their champion reactions, but also because they can pick up auras. Good aligned champions want to be right next to their party so that the party can take advantage of their auras. Evil champions want to be right next to the enemy so that they can debuff them with their auras. Example, Aura of Courage reduces the frightened value for all creatures within 15 feet of you. And frightened is a very common and very debilitating debuff. And evil champions have Aura Despair, which keeps enemies frightened as long as they're within 15 feet of you. If you get all the way up to 16, you can also take Expand Aura to double the range of any of your auras, which is awesome. And that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to check out the Patreon if you want extra build videos and Google Sheets. And until next time, teamwork is vital.